Midnight Absinthe, Raven's imaginary type, fire elemental, support battlesuit. It is also the first imaginary type battlesuit to be introduced. Her leader skill increases the fire damage dealt by the ultimate attacks of the team. It also increases the team's maximum HP. Her basic attacks are both melee and ranged, with the first, fourth, and fifth sequences being ranged, and the second and third being melee. Every hit from her basic attack deals fire damage, and every ranged sequence will leave feather arrows on the field. By holding the attack button, Midnight Absinthe will perform her charge attack, shooting 6 feather blades in all directions, then pulling all feather arrows, feather blades, and feathers on the field back in. Fire damage is dealt on both phases of the charge attack. Tapping on the attack button after a charge attack will allow her to directly use her 5th basic attack sequence. Total damage taken when performing her charge attack is lowered by 40%. When her charge attack hits, she gains up to a 40% total damage bonus for 10 seconds. At SS, if a retrieval count of 15 is done in a single charge attack, 12 SP will be restored. This ability has a 2-second cooldown. Retrieving feather arrows, feather blades, and feathers will activate Midnight Absinthe's passive ability, Night Roamer. Up to a total of 20 feather arrows, feather blades, and feathers can be on the field at a time, and up to 20 can be retrieved for Night Roamer stacks. Repeated retrieval will add to Night Roamer count and refresh its duration. Midnight Absinthe will receive a fire damage bonus depending on the amount of stacks, with a 10% increase at 10 stacks, 15% at 15 stacks, and 20% at 20 stacks. When Night Roamer is active, incoming total damage will be reduced by 30%. When at maximum stacks, incoming total damage will be reduced by another 30%, and fire damage dealt will be increased by 15%. Additionally, 2 more attacks can be performed after her 5th basic attack sequence. By consuming 100 SP, Midnight Absinthe can perform her ultimate attack by tapping on the ultimate button. She rapidly attacks a wide area in front of her, dealing 6 hits of fire damage, then jumps and shoots an arrow, which deals fire damage on impact and with the explosion that follows. Casting her ultimate attack will also remove all Night Roamer stacks and create a smoke screen, which lasts for 18 seconds. The team will also gain a 30% fire damage increase for 18 seconds. Using her weapon active in the smoke screen, or having teammates deal damage to enemies in it, will trigger an explosion, dealing a high amount of fire damage. This explosion counts as an ultimate attack from Midnight Absinthe and has a 4-second cooldown. Any combo, charge, or ultimate attacks in the smoke will cause enemies to burn, dealing fire damage per second for 5 seconds. This debuff can be refreshed. When performing an ultimate evasion, Midnight Absinthe's evasion skill will be triggered, activating a global time fracture for 3 seconds. She will also deal fire damage to nearby enemies and gain movement speed for the next 3 seconds. Tapping on the attack button after her evasion skill is used will allow her to directly use her 3rd basic attack sequence. When enemies are time slowed by teammates, Midnight Absinthe's QTE can be triggered. She enters the field, dealing a high amount of fire damage and leaves 6 feather blades. In addition to all her abilities, Midnight Absinthe will cause enemies to drop bounty coins when they're killed. Bounty coins restore 50 HP when picked and only work on Midnight Absinthe. At SS or higher, she will provide the team with a fire damage increase of up to 30% for 5 seconds when a teammate attacks enemies with a combo, charge, or ultimate attack while she is on standby. They will also generate 3 feathers. This ability has a 2-second cooldown. At SS, the total damage dealt by her ultimate attack and weapon active gain an innate total damage increase of 30%. Landing an aim shot on the weak spot will also spawn 6 feathers. Having feather arrows, feather blades, and feathers on the field will also provide the team with a 25% fire damage increase. And finally, as the first imaginary type battlesuit, Midnight Absinthe introduces the ability to execute Nihilist Seeds when their HP is at 20% or lower by attacking their weak spot with an aim shot when the core is exposed. When equipping Midnight Absinthe, the only viable option that allows her to perform her role properly is her signature weapon, Obscuring Wing. Its weapon active deals fire damage and creates a blast when hitting a weak spot. It also grants the team with 3 charges, which will cause an additional hit of fire damage to attacks performed within the next 4 seconds. This ability has a 6-second cooldown. Passively, Obscuring Wing provides its wielder with an innate 25% total damage bonus and an innate 20% fire damage bonus to the team. Her signature Stigmata set, Ozlog, provides an innate 20% fire damage increase on every part. The T part additionally increases the elemental damage of the team to enemies in fettered states. The M part additionally boosts the total damage of its host on hit by 5% for 5 seconds at a 1 second cooldown, which can be stacked up to 6 times. When switching out, all stacks will be removed and the team will gain a 20% fire damage increase while the host is on standby. And the B part, which inflicts the fettered state for 8 seconds when an ultimate attack from the host hits an enemy. Like the T part, it will also cause enemies to take increased elemental damage. The fettered state can be refreshed. The 2 set ability increases the total damage of the host by 15% and of the team by 12%. The elemental damage buff from the B part also gains an increase from 20% to 30%. And finally, the 3 set ability provides a 20% total damage boost to its host for 15 seconds when a charge attack hits. When the host is on standby, the team will gain a 30% fire damage boost. Alternatively, Midnight Absinthe can run existing elemental support Stigmata, but none will compare to Ozlog's strength as a dedicated fire support set. More importantly, with the explosion that can be triggered in her smokescreen being counted as an ultimate attack, her ability to re-trigger Ozlog makes her and the set the ideal combination. While the application of fire and elemental damage buffs from Midnight Absinthe can support just about any fire DPS battlesuit, it is likely that she would be teamed up with Azure Imperia and the Hellshell Flame Scion, and mostly in the Abyss. While she provides a high amount of fire damage buffs, her need for 100 SP and the time she spends on the field makes her compatible for less situations in the Memorial Arena. Despite that, she is the first imaginary type, and it is likely we will see more uses for Midnight Absinthe in the future.